Hey guys, I want to take the opportunity here to just make a very short video on a specific topic. And I'm doing it this way so that we can distribute this, not just it's going out live, but we can distribute this as a standalone video and for other purposes. All of these videos, by the way, go up on our Rumble, on our YouTube channel. And for those of you that are questioning that, why did we use YouTube? I'm not real happy with YouTube. I don't really like them, but we run into some issues with distribution of Rumble and the reception of Rumble. And so specifically for this purpose, although we don't typically do it otherwise with the coalition, we put our stuff up on YouTube to address these issues. I mean, in many cases, we have trouble posting videos if they're not YouTube. Okay, real quick, what I want to talk about is tactics. And really what I'm trying to do here is in video format, respond to issues that are brought up to me every day, 12 times a day, sometimes conversations that I'm having over and over with people all over the state. And I'm going to keep it succinct, not because I'm trying to be snarky or rude or disrespectful to anybody, but just again, because I want to make this as digestible as possible and just really as direct as possible. We as a coalition, as a movement, whether you're talking about just the coalition or you're talking about other groups that are allied with the coalition, the Patriot movement, the America First movement, the MAGA movement, are face-to-face fighting against the establishment. We're not just fighting against the Democrats. We're fighting against the Republican establishment that doesn't stand with us. And multiple times a day, I'm having conversations with people that are proposing how we're going to fix this, how we're going to fight this. Northampton County, okay, they had issues on election day where they were switching votes. Yes votes went to no, no went to yes. Okay, how we're going to respond, how we're going to fight that. And I've got all kinds of proposals. I respect everybody's fervor. I respect everybody's enthusiasm. I respect everybody's commitment. It doesn't mean that every proposal that's coming forward has any chance of success or is really worth pursuit. First, lawsuits. Everybody on earth, in response to everything, wants to file a lawsuit. And the question is, can you sue? Okay, as you guys know, the real skeleton in my closet is I'm also a lawyer, and I actually did trial practice for a while. The answer to can you sue is always yes. If you got the filing fee and a piece of paper, you can start a lawsuit. That's no trick. You can sue pretty much anybody over any topic. That's not the question. The question is, do you have a prayer of winning? And 98%, 99% of the time, the answer is no. You do not have a case. Your case will be in court for as long as it takes for you to have the first hearing. And then you'll have your case dismissed and you lose your filing fee and you're back to square one. Does that mean we have no interest in litigation? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if we're going to file a lawsuit, somebody needs to have done their homework, and we actually need to have a prayer of success rather than we're just going to waste a year or two on litigation, a year or two at best, assuming it survives the first challenge. And keep in mind that we all know what the environment is at the appellate level in the state of Pennsylvania. So that's just reality. The Democratic Party owns the appellate process in this state. So proposing we sue for the purpose of just saying we sued is not something I have any interest in. If we got a case, let's do it. There are, in fact, active cases going on right now, Bucks County, for instance, where the state is where suit has been filed, and there's a really strong basis for believing that we're going to win, and Tabus and GOP establishment are scared of that. So again, not talking about dismissing it. I'm just talking about don't assume because you can magically file a piece of paper and pay the filing fee that you've established anything. Second broad category I would say is appeals to the establishment. We're angry, we're torqued off, and Tabus has got to fix Northampton County. Or Tabus has got to fix what happened with 300,000 votes being deducted on live television from a judicial candidate. I got news for you in case you haven't heard. He's not on our side, and the establishment is not on our side. So if you have a mechanism for making them do what we want them to do, I am all ears, and so is everybody at the coalition. If your proposal amounts to asking Tabus to do the right thing, I'm moving on, and the coalition's moving on, because that's a waste of breath. As I've said previously, I've written multiple letters to the guy on behalf of the coalition. He hasn't ever deigned to acknowledge we exist. Third thing I would call just broad-based magical thinking, okay? This idea that somehow there is a silver bullet out there. Trump is still president. Biden's going to go to Guantanamo. The Joint Chiefs are stepping in. No, I'm sorry, guys. If you want to believe that, if you want to indulge in that, that's your business. It's a free country. None of that is happening. Where does this bring us down to? It brings us down to the central tenet that we keep saying over and over from the coalition. The first and most immediate problem, the Republican Party in the state of Pennsylvania is not representing us, is not acting on our behalf. And you could ask them all day long, and it won't change anything. So the solution is simple, if incredibly difficult, which is you got to take control of the GOP. You got to put your hands on the controls. You got to stop wishing they do the right thing. You got to stop hoping they do the right thing. You got to stop begging them to do the right thing. You got to shove them aside. Obviously, I'm talking legally, and take control. That means your county GOP. If your county GOP doesn't represent you, then you need to get a majority of the people on that committee and take control. Your county commissioners, do your county commissioners right, even if they're Republicans. Are they patriots? Are they MAGA folks? And if not, you need to get rid of them. School boards, on up from the ground up. You got to stop showing up in front of a hostile entity and asking them to do the right thing. And you have to take control of that. And obviously, this goes up to the state legislature, which I've talked separately. If you got a state rep, like I do in my area, who's theoretically a Republican, but has sat on the sidelines watching fight after fight and not lifting a finger, you need to get rid of him, which is something we're going to be doing here locally very soon. That's a tough a tough row to hoe, as they used to say. It's a lot of work. That's hard work. It takes a lot of time. You got to raise money. You got to find candidates. You got to organize. You got to stop talking in abstract principles and get down to brass tacks. And along the way, you're going to have to go talk to a whole bunch of people that don't yet agree with you. And you're going to have to convince them to side with you. You're going to have to get outside your bubble, get outside that, that zone where all you're doing is you're standing in an echo chamber, talking only to people who already agree with you and just making yourselves feel good. You got to roll up your sleeves. In other words, you basically got to do what Americans have always done, how we built the country and won wars and did everything else. It's sweat equity. It's hard work. That's the answer. There is no magical answer. There's no silver bullet. You're not going to snap your fingers and suddenly fix all of this. It took us a lot of years to dig into this hole. It's going to take us some considerable time to dig out. All right. That's my probably not as succinct as I wanted it to be statement that I hope addresses to a broad group of people the kind of issues that I'm talking to folks about every day. Yeah. We're going to have to do this the hard way. Do the work. Take care.